We've got a great set of questions this week. The main question is on my other interests. Thanks for joining us today on Questions and Answers with James Townsend and Son. Here's a question on the Pemmican series. It's James Dulesky. James, I have a question. Was pemmican made with pork or can it be? I don't know. That's a really good question. It's likely that you could make it with pork, but I've never tried it. Maybe someone out there in YouTube land has tried making pemmican with pork. If you have, please give a comment down in the comment section below. Here is 3000 GT Welder. It's on the roast beef episode. He says, do you just wear new clothes every episode? They always look new and never broken in. Maybe I just take really good care of my clothes. No, usually I just throw them in a pile on the ground, and I don't know why they look good all the time. The camera must make them look new because I certainly don't keep them clean. Here's an interesting question. It's on the baking bread in the Earthen oven. It's Hubert Sersky. He says, can you give the ingredients for making the bread, please? It's kind of an interesting thing. Right here in the 18th century, actually, they had a problem with adulteration of bread. And in England, in the bread assizes in the late 18th century, they actually had rules about exactly what bread was. And they said bread is made of 4 ingredients. It's flour, water, salt, and yeast. That's it. That's all that bread was supposed to be, at least the kind that you would buy from the baker in an everyday setting, not enriched breads that would have milk or eggs in them. So bread in the time period, and even today, is very, very simple. Really, you don't need very much of the salt or very much of the yeast. It's basically get the right amount of flour in there with the right amount of water, and you've got it. This one came in on the steak pudding episode, and in that episode, I've got Kevin sort of co-hosting with me. And David Goff says, your son looks older than you. Well, Kevin's not my son, number one. He's just a friend who works here at James Townsend and Son, and he is older than me. So, there you go. Here's one from the most recent episode where we did the pigeon pie and the pork Cheshire pie. It's actually a rerun from the first or second season. This is Robert Zachow. Question, would they have used root vegetables as well? So, the answer is yes. In the 18th century, they did do things that are kind of what we would call maybe a chicken pot pie. These were sort of similar to that, but they didn't have vegetables in them. There is an interesting vegetable pie episode that we've done in the past. I'll make sure to put a link down in the description section so you can see that one. Here we go. This one is on the earthen oven in a day, or the 24-hour earthen oven episode that I did. That was the second earthen oven episode. This one is Mr. Ferguson. How long would one of these last? Just an educated guess. That oven, I covered it up with a tarp. It lasted several months, 3 or 4 months right there on the ground like that. But generally, the ones that are made on the ground like this probably really shouldn't be used for any great length of time. They don't age well. And if you want to make sure to check out the earthen oven in a day one, the last one we did at the 5 Metals event last fall, that one you can see how the ground oven lasted compared to the one up on top. Again, most of these ovens will last quite a while if you protect them from the weather. If you don't, they're going to be gone in a week. If your oven is protected, and especially up off the ground, it can last for years. The very first one we made, that was 4 or 5, maybe even 6 years ago, that oven is still usable today. Although, actually a whole bunch of bees live in it. A beehive decided to take up their home inside the beehive oven, which is really weird. Here's Just Jay. This one's on the pigeon pie episode also. Anything on cheese making in colonial times yet? We have got some cheese making episodes scheduled into the future. It may be all the way until fall because we're going to go out to a historic site to do those episodes. But again, stay tuned. We're working on it. And here's Matthew 567 by heart. And it's on the pigeon pie one. He says, how long did you cook the pigeon pie? Excellent question. That was quite a while ago, but a pie like this, the internal ingredients are all basically cooked already, so we don't need to worry about that so much. We're basically just cooking the shell, 30, 40 minutes, something like that. Here's a great question from Vicky Summers. And this is on the puff paste crust, how to make puff paste episode. Is it an American thing or an 18th century thing to call pastry just paste? And if you look in most of the 18th century cookbooks, the English cookbooks, they all will reference, they'll reference pastry, and they'll reference paste itself. In other words, just the crust. So it's basically an 18th century thing. It's not specifically American. This is Maria Blumberg. It's from a recent, or maybe quite a while back, Q&A. She says, an orderly book I recently worked on describes cutting up tents to make flour bags during the Revolutionary War circa 1781. And then I asked her about that reference because that sounded very interesting to me. And here's what she says. It's part of a collection of Revolutionary War orderly books that have been digitized at the Huntington Library where I work. And she goes on to describe the manuscripts of all these very interesting orderly books from the Revolutionary War era. If you want to check this out, I'll make sure to put a link down in the description section that'll take you to the library and to its manuscript section, so you can see some of these original 18th century documents. They're actually, the one I picked up, very easy to read, and some very interesting content. It takes a little bit more to dig out the nuggets, but it's the kind of stuff that you won't find anyplace else. This one's from Big Closet Junk. John, I'm curious, are there any other things you like to do other than 18th century related things? Wow, I hope you've got a while. Here's a quick list. I like video production in general. That's one of the reasons why we do all these YouTubes. But I also like doing 16 millimeter film with actual film. That's fun stuff. I don't get to do enough of it. I haven't been able to do very much of it lately. Photography in general, whether it's chemical photography or digital photography, I enjoy that. Sailing and boat building. I love sailing and boat building. I have a lot of fun with that. And it's, again, kind of quasi 18th century related. I love studying the 18th century stuff and playing with the modern stuff. Computers in general. I've always been a computer guy. Ham radio. I'm a ham radio operator. I haven't played around with that lately, but electronics in general. Radio-controlled airplanes. Anything that's old technology. And especially things like tube amplifiers and all that kind of stuff. So, and that's just a few of the oddball things that I really enjoy doing besides 18th century related things. And I have a lot of fun with 18th century stuff too. All this old technology stuff, I'm very interested in it. Hey, we're working on some great content right now, and that is a Getting Started series. We're really experimenting with this. We're not sure exactly how we want to do it, but we got the first episode done, and it's sort of a video/podcast thing. We're not sure what it is yet. It's that weird. Anyway, if you'd like to sign up and start getting this content, I'm going to put a link down in the comments section. It's going to be called the Getting Started series. It'll be a link on our website, and all you got to do is fill out your email address, and then you'll get that content as soon as it becomes available. Really, we're almost ready to release the first one, so make sure to sign up for that if you're interested in getting started with living history at all. I want to thank everyone for your amazing questions and your wonderful and kind comments that encourage us so much. Thank you for all you do for us, sharing videos and the comments. Thank you so much for all that, and thanks for watching. If you're a new viewer and you haven't subscribed, press the subscribe button up here. That'll take you to a spot where you can subscribe. I want to thank everyone for watching.